Well, folks, it is Football Friday, so you know what that means. It is time for another edition of the CW Six Pack. You know how we do it, folks. We take 6 games across the Sunday and the Monday window, and we pick them against the spread. We had a really good week last week, folks. Now, we picked 7 games to go along with that first Friday game with the Chiefs and the Chargers, but we went 4-2-1 against the spread last week. I picked the Chargers +3 against Kansas City. I picked Arizona -6.5 against the Saints. I picked the Rams -3 against Houston. And I picked the Packers, who put an absolute smackdown on the Lions at -2. Now, look, we lost the Pittsburgh game -3, even though Pittsburgh won the game. And that was an absolutely phenomenal game. Pittsburgh did not cover the 3 points, and Chicago, we lost that one +1.5, and we pushed on Baltimore -1, and that was a game that we really should have won. I mean, Baltimore up 15 with about less than 5 minutes left in the game, and they blow the game. I mean, John Harbaugh is the Doc Rivers of the NFL. I mean, that is his 17th blown double-digit lead, the most of any coach since 1991, I think I saw the stat was. And that is Baltimore's 8th loss since, I think, 2021, where they had a 90% or better chance to win the game at some point, and Baltimore had a 99% 99% chance to win the game with about 4 and some change left to go in the game, and Baltimore just choked it away like a bunch of dogs. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, honestly, folks, we really could have went 6-1 as far as our picks were last week, but 4-2-1, that's a winning week there. And so it's a new week. It's time for some new picks, and here we go. So game number 1, we got a Super Bowl rematch, folks. We have the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, a rematch of Super Bowl 59, where, as we remember, the Eagles kicked the Chiefs up and down Bourbon Street 40-22. The Eagles, of course, coming off a win against Dallas, and the Chiefs coming off a loss against the Chargers. And it's looking like Xavier Worthy is not going to be able to go with that shoulder injury that he suffered on last Friday. He's currently listed as doubtful, which is another hit to the Chiefs wide receiver room there. Now listen, I have a lot of unanswered questions about this Chiefs offense, and the defense wasn't all that great either. And Philly, I feel, has the advantage on both sides of the ball, but Jalen Carter, that dummy, cannot get thrown out of the game before the first play. That just can't happen. So Jalen Carter, please don't spit on anybody. Please don't get thrown out of the game before the ball is even snapped for the first play. And I'm going to take the Eagles to win and cover -1.5. And that's the only 4 o'clock game that I'm going to pick this week, because number 1, we already did 7 games last week. And then, of course, this week we have 2 Monday night games to pick. So there we go. So game number 1, Eagles -1.5. Game 2, I'm going to give you the Giants at the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, the Giants got destroyed and looked awful against the Commanders, who just lost last night to Green Bay, while the Cowboys gave the Eagles everything they wanted on Thursday night. Dallas, of course, is 7-1 at home against the Giants with Dak Prescott at quarterback, and as long as Dallas doesn't play with their food, I like Dallas to win, and I like Dallas to cover -5.5. And, I mean, after this game, we might see Jackson Dart a heck of a lot sooner than we actually think, but game number 2, Dallas -5.5. Game number 3, we have I'm going to give you New England against the Miami Dolphins. Both of these teams coming off losses, but the Dolphins looked a lot worse in their loss to the Colts. And the Patriots, I feel, are the much more serious team, and I have no faith in the Miami Dolphins whatsoever. So I am going to smash the Patriots to win and cover plus 1.5 there. All right, so game number 4, the Sunday nighter, the Atlanta Falcons against the Minnesota Vikings. It's an interesting Sunday night matchup between the two young quarterbacks, Michael Penix Jr. for Atlanta and J.J. McCarthy for the Vikings. This is, of course, the first time that these two quarterbacks are facing off against each other since the 2023 national championship game when J.J. McCarthy's Michigan squad defeated Michael Penix's Washington Husky squad. And, of course, the Falcons coming off of that heartbreaker against Tampa Bay when Young Wei Koo missed that game-winning field goal there, and Minnesota with that incredible comeback win against the Chicago Bears. And listen, I think J.J. McCarthy understands this thing now. I think Minnesota is the more talented team, and I'm going to put some faith in J.J. McCarthy this week. I think it's going to be close, but I'm going to take Minnesota to win, and I'm going to take Minnesota to cover the 3.5. All right, game number 5 here. We have a Monday night doubleheader this week. So the first matchup on Monday night, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Houston Texans. The Texans offense looked rough last week against the LA Rams. Their offensive line allowed 7 hits and 3 sacks with pressure on 48% of CJ Stroud's dropbacks. And on the Tampa Bay side, Emeka Egbuka making an early case for Offensive Rookie of the Year with 67 yards and 2 touchdowns in that Atlanta game. I expect a little better coming from Houston this week, but I like the Bucs to win, and I like the Bucs to cover plus 2.5 there. And game number 6, we have the LA Chargers against the Las Vegas Raiders. Now listen, I changed my pick at least 3 or 4 times before coming on here. This is going to be a tough matchup here. Old school division rivalry game here. The Chargers with that absolutely incredible offensive performance against the Chiefs last week. Justin Herbert having that huge performance. And the Raiders, not anything to sleep on this year, and got that win against New England on Sunday. I think it's going to be close, but I'm going to take the Chargers to win and cover the 3.5. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be slight, but I'm going to take the Chargers here to cover. So my picks this week for the CW 6-pack, I'm going Eagles minus 1.5 against the Chiefs. I'm taking the Cowboys minus 5.5 against the New York Giants. I'm going to take the Patriots plus 1.5 against the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to take Minnesota minus 3.5 against the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to take Tampa Bay plus 2.5 against the Texans. And I'm going to take the Chargers minus 3.5 against the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell to be notified of when I post again, and also follow me on Twitter and on Bluesky at CW Talk Sports. That's CWTALKS Sports. Enjoy the football, everyone, and I will see y'all the next time. Peace.